I was asked to say some arose for the 3 weeks, for the 9 days for Tisha B'Av. And I gave thought to give the arose would be shilas that happened during the Holocaust. So Kovno had a Sagan Rav Ephraim Oshry. And the Rav of Kovno, the Kovno Ghetto, was not well. So these are the shilas he put out, Mima Makim, a 5-volume of the shilas he had during the Holocaust. And he didn't think he was going to make it. And after he had the shilas and he had the truvas, but not one-line truvas, a whole arichos, some of them now that they're printed are 5, 10-page truvas. He put it in metal cylinders so that after the war, whoever survives might find his cylinders and print it. And Baruch Hashem, he survived. And he was a Rav in Muncie. And he put out Mima Makim, a 5-volume, his shilas. And when I looked at it, not just the shilas, but the lumdis and the Torah that he was saying in those days, and a lot of it was without svarim, is very impressive. So I figured, L'man Yamdu Yomim Rabim, to give a picture of some of the shilas that he had. So sometimes he had dates when things happened, and he told you when things happened, and then he would tell you the shilah. I will not be saying the answers because I still think saying the answers, the lumdis, takes away from the feeling of the shilah. Daled Elul Tafshin Aleph. The Nazis came into the ghetto and they gathered all the dogs and cats from the ghetto and they put them in the big shul, and they killed them. And they machine gunned all the dogs and cats of the ghetto. That wasn't enough for them. So they then had the people take out the sefer Torah and rip up the sefer Torah to cover the dead cats and dogs. The people are asking a question afterwards. What kapara do we need if we are the ones who did this to the sefer Torah? What tanesim, what are we supposed to do? And then the people who were not there are asking a similar question. We heard about all of this. What is our tshuva supposed to be? So we'll call the Shaila 1. Vav Ma'cheshbin Tafshin Beis. Somebody comes to him, Chashiv Yid, and he says, I know that they're going to soon kill me, but besides the torture, they take somebody, they take his wife and children, and they kill the children in front of him. They kill the wife in front of him, and that's when they kill him. He says, I can't handle that. I want to commit suicide. Am I allowed to commit suicide? To save myself this agmas nefesh? Second shilah. Third shilah. Somebody is sneaking out, we'll call it at dawn, and he's putting on tefillin before davening. He has shilas how early he can put on tefillin before they march them to do the work. And the Nazis caught him and beat him. But that wasn't enough for them. They put a tzelem on his makom tefillin. He says he doesn't know what to do. Can he put something over the tzelem when he puts tefillin on? Is he allowed to do it, or is it a chatzitza? Shaila 3. Chav Chai Sivin, Tafshin Aleph. The Nazis marched out 10,000 residents, Yidden. They marched them into the forest. They had holes dug before, big hole dug before. They had them take off all their clothes. They made them go into the holes, and they machine gunned them. And how do we know? Because somebody escaped. The Nazis thought he was dead. Question is, these people died al Kiddush Hashem. The people died because they're Yidden. Do you have to say Kaddish for them? Is it necessary? Related to this is another question. Their clothes. The people are able to access their clothes. So there's a halacha that the clothes of a mess that he's wearing them are asa b'hana. They were not wearing them. Is this asa b'hana or not asa b'hana? So that's the fifth shilah. The Nazis did not let anyone, or had a rule, you cannot become pregnant. The Jewish women cannot become pregnant. A Jewish woman was pregnant. And she, for whatever reason, she was walking into the street. And a Nazi saw her and saw she had a big belly and shot her dead. The halacha in Shulchan Aruch is that if a woman dies in pregnancy, you do not open up the womb and take out the child. Because by the time you realize and you're sure that she's 100% dead, the child would have died. In this situation, that she was shot with a bullet and she died instantly, are you allowed to open up the womb and take out a child? Shilah 6. Somebody escaped. He escaped to Bulgaria. And he's living like a guy in Bulgaria. And he figured he'll live out the war, even though Bulgaria really is occupied by the Germans, but nobody knew he was a Yid. He figured he would live out the war there. Now he got sick, seriously sick. And he felt he was going to die in Bulgaria. And he was concerned. His concern is that the Goyim consider him a guy, and they will bury him in a Goyish cemetery. Is it preferable that he should have them cremate his body, that he should not be buried in a Goyish cemetery? That's Shilah 7. I'm just picking and choosing some of the Shilahs. There are more Shilahs here. There are 5 volumes of Shilahs. Family was picked. This is Macheshvan, Tafshin Beis. So it could be that was related with a different previous Shilah. And they took the family wherever they were, and they killed them. The people remaining have nothing. The people remaining want to know, can they go into that apartment and take anything in that apartment that is of value? and sell it and keep it? Or do we say you're not allowed to do it, get the Yarshim? And the Yarshim would have Kedima, and you have no right to steal. You understand, we're sitting in the Holocaust. We're sitting with people who have nothing. We're talking about with people who are concerned with Gzela of Yarshim, the people who are not here. So let me end this. These are the shilas. Let me end this with a interesting thought I heard from my son, a story. There was one of the old timers in shul. So now we are talking about in the 50s and the 60s. And somebody noticed that whenever you had Birchas Kohanim in shul, he left. He left. He wasn't a Kohen, but he left. So why was he leaving? So he brought it to the attention of the rabbi, and the rabbi said, I never noticed. Well, next yontif I'll notice. And he noticed. So he goes over to him afterwards, and he says, why do you always leave by Birchas Kohanim? So the old timer, let's call him Yankel, turned to the rabbi and says, let me tell you a story. I was in one of the concentration camps. And I'm Yankel, and we had a guy, Chaim. And whenever anything came up, a yontiv, Chaim took care of us. If we needed a little shemen for Hanukkah, we had it. Whatever we needed for Purim, we had. We don't know how he did it. He was about 20 years old, and I was about 15. When it came Pesach, he got us matzah. So now we're going to have a seder. How we got the matzah, nobody knows. So we're in the middle of the night having our seder, and the Nazis broke in. The Nazis broke in. They see all of us around. They see the matzah. And they said, who did this? Whoever did this, we're going to kill. So I figure, I'm 15. The tzibur needs him. They don't need me. So I said, I'm the one. I'm the one. Yankel. So they looked at my number. Everyone had a number. They said, fine, tomorrow we're going to shoot you. During lineup, we're going to make an example for you, and we're going to shoot you. The next day, there's a lineup. They call me out to shoot me. Remember, it's Pesach. And then Chaim gets up, and he says, it's not true. I'm the one who procured. And he runs up to the front and says, it's me. The Nazis could have killed us both. They said, no, we're only going to kill the guy who did it. And then they looked at him and they looked at me. They looked at me, I'm 15 years old. And they looked at him, he's 20 years old. And they figured, you're probably the one, not him, not him. So we're going to shoot you now. So he says, one request. I'm a Kohen. I would like to do Birchas Kohanim. I said, fine. So he gets up, he holds out his hands, and he does Birchas Kohanim. He says, and then afterwards they shoot him. So Yankel says, that is the last Birchas Kohanim I've seen. And I don't want to see any other Birchas Kohanim after that. I hope I've inspired everyone. And I think the next video has to be the answers to a lot of these shilas. Thank you.